Try Jesus, not me, 'cause I throw hands. Try Jesus, please don't try me, because I fight. I know what he said about getting slapped, but if you touch me or mine, we gon' have to scrap. So, try Jesus, please don't try me, because I fight. I have no problem laying these hands. Try Jesus, don't try me, 'cause I throw hands. Try Jesus, please don't try me, because I fight. Oh, he said, turn the other cheek. Oh, but this one put in the Bible. It just don't sit right with me. So try Jesus, please don't try me, 'cause I fight. I have no problem laying these hands.
When I was growing up, they used to tell me to turn the other cheek. I ain't got no more cheeks to turn. Be honest with you. When I was told, they said, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. But then I read somewhere else that it says that in the last days, I will empower the righteous, the elect, and the children to exact my vengeance for me upon their oppressors. So vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I like to bid everybody shalom. Welcome to Factz Ova Feelingz. You know I'm going to put on the nose and the hair. I'm going to clown somebody tonight. Y'all will learn that when I told you that there is a spirit of karma floating round the globe. What's done in the dark comes to the light. What has been done will be revealed. So every time somebody tries to do something stupid, every time somebody tries to throw some shade, every time somebody tries to sprinkle their pixie dust on the will of the Most High, he got to throw it back at you, because if I had to put a title on this tonight, it would be Yah, the clapback is real. For real. Let us begin. So by now, and welcome everybody. If your friends didn't get the alert, that's too bad for them. This train leaving the station early. Big shout out to NFAC. Now, come on, y'all. Come on now. Come on. For real. It wasn't bad enough that you embellished and exaggerated the story about the black folks because you just couldn't wait to do that. And it was bad enough that black people, without doing any research or even thinking about the source of the information, when they swear up and down that they don't trust the media, y'all come on in. Then all of a sudden you believe that you're repeating what they said as if it's the gospel. Problem with that is, that's why people do investigations, to get to the heart of the matter. That's why what you say at first can change once you do your investigation. But sometimes you have to instigate an issue and then investigate the issue. And then after you investigate the issue and you summarize, you find some way to do an invitation for us to fix the issue. So y'all, for real, y'all know I'm about to go there. Y'all want to come and make a big deal out of the fact that somebody got hot and passed out, dropped their weapon, and it went off, and it hit the concrete, and the concrete flew up, hit a few people. Now, It's a tragic situation. That's what they said. And I'm sitting back watching all of these experts, all of these so-called learned people who act as if they live and die by the gun. Come on and say all kind of things like, they're untrained and they're untrustworthy and maybe this is damaging the whole image of black people and guns. They're going all off the rail with this shit. And there's black people who, for whatever reason, they don't even own a goddamn a water gun. Oh, well, you know, see, there you go. That's the whole problem. You give these guys guns, they don't know what to do. I mean, I just don't think, just running their mouth. But you know, when you serve the Most High, sometimes he'll say, chill, son. Chill. This is my world. Let me show you how I get down. And then he does something that takes everything that you wanted to say, everything that you wanted to do, every point you was trying to make. He takes all of those and he proves it in one action. You see, action will always speak louder than words. Y'all put on your seatbelts and go with me. We about to hit the loop right here inside of Factz Ova Feelingz. I'm only dealing in facts. Mm-hmm. People like to act like some things don't apply to them. All of these hardcore military cats that came on here, all these hardcore gun enthusiasts that came on here talking about, nope, that's not what happens. If you do this, I'm an expert. You can't doubt it. That shit is all wrong. They know what they're doing. They need training. Obviously, you've never served in a forward deployed combat unit. Obviously, you've never served in the cavalry where we have 19 deltas and 11 bang bangs and tankers and y'all all kind of stuff. Obviously, you've never served in a unit where we have squadrons of M1A1 Abrams tanks. You know, the kind that can hit a target 100 miles away while moving 25 miles per hour through a 9-man. That's 9 men inside of one of those. Obviously, you've never served in a unit where you've had air cav support that comes in with Apaches and choppers and whatnot. Where we're stuck out in the TOC in the middle of the field for 90 days with no type of infrastructure support, where we eat, sleep, and breathe ourselves and we sleep on dirt. Obviously, you've never had to do that before, never knowing when the next attack or where the enemy's going to come from. Obviously, you've never done that because if you had, then you would understand that as highly trained as the cavalry is, as forward deployed into combat zones, first to arrive with the Marines as the cavalry is, that shit still happens. Accidents do happen. People die. Even in training, if you've ever been to the National Training Center in Fort Irwin in Death Valley, California, and you've had to fight against the OPFOR, which means opposing force, we use live fire out there. They let you know at the beginning of every cycle. 14 of y'all are going to die. We don't know who it is. You're going to make that decision. How? You're going to do something stupid that's going to cost you your life. You're going to bang your weapon and blow your head off. You're going to go to sleep on the atropine injectors inside of your gas mask and kill yourself. You're going to do something stupid. You're going to go to sleep in front of a tank that's parked, but they didn't set the brake and it roll over your ass and kill you. So y'all don't hear about none of this type shit because they don't make a big deal out of when somebody fucks up in the military and kills themselves by mishandling a weapon or putting themselves in a dangerous situation or doing something as stupid as putting gas into a diesel engine and the bitch do a run on and blow up on their ass. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have deep experience with being drill sergeants and wearing the brown round and seeing what happens when you give M16s to a bunch of people who've never ever held one before. And the first thing you tell them not to do is pull the trigger. And all you hear in the formation is click, 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 click. Thank God they wasn't loaded. So today at Fort Bliss, Texas, a base that I've served in with the 3rd ACR before they moved to Fort Carson and then got kicked off of Carson and sent back because that's 3rd Herd. Found out today somebody in a tank shot another tank. Y'all on us about a shotgun? These boys in a tank, bruh, and just shot another tank. What you gonna tell him? Keep his hands off the trigger? What you gonna tell him? You need some training? What you gonna tell him? What you gonna tell the 9 people that was in the tank? Y'all sicken me with this bullshit. You looking for an excuse so much to hate on something that's good for black people all around. You so comfortable in your hatred that you don't think anything will happen to you. You really don't. You think you can say whatever with no consequences whatsoever. Oh, y'all thought I came to teach y'all out of the book. No, tonight it's called practical application. Because with Yah, the clapback is real. Now, let us begin again. So somebody said don't give it energy. Oh, we're going to give it some energy. You see, they want to make a spectacle out of something that we're doing. So you got to be able to point back and say, oh, before you point a finger at me, there's 3 pointed back at you. See, that's written in scripture. I didn't say it, he did. They just proved it true. When you see it play out, don't ignore it. When they say karma is real and you see it happen, don't ignore it. Understand it. That is how you develop wisdom. That is how you elevate to the next level. That is how you get out of this classroom. You don't ignore when you see scripture personified. You don't ignore it when you see scripture manifest itself. You don't ignore it. You say, oh, that shit do happen. And you'll see why it was written. Let me explain something to y'all real quick on Factz Ova Feelingz real quick. When I was in the military, I used to always wonder why they had all these crazy ass rules. Who sat down and thought of this? And then as I went through my military career, I began to realize that the reason was because someone actually did it. Someone was that stupid that they actually did it. So they had to write a rule against it. You would think that it would be common sense not to do certain things. Oh, I could tell you some stories, but you would think that people are also all smart, and they're not. I remember the time we had a friend, I ain't gonna call his name because it was too embarrassing, walked up to me and my friend and asked us if we could give him a ride back to base. We told him not a problem because we said, why you need a ride back to base? Well, I ran out of gas. Okay, not a problem. The car is over there. We'd be over there in a minute. He left to go get in the car. I'm talking to my boy. We decide to walk over to the car. We see this fool standing at the back of the car. We're like, what are you doing? He turned around and looked at us and he said, I need a key to the trunk of the car. So we're like, why you need a key to the trunk of my man's car? He said, so I can put the gasoline in the trunk. Now, come on, y'all stay with your boy. Here we go. Here come the comedy. I looked and he had a pail. You know, a pail. I don't mean a closed container, a pail of gasoline. And he was going to sit it in the trunk of the car. Not tell us if he could have got in the trunk and we didn't know it, we would have got in the car, been driving all bouncing down the goddamn hill. Gasoline would have spilled all in the back of the car, seeped down, and as soon as it touched that hot pipe, blew our ass into fucking orbit. The moment we saw the pail, we didn't wonder what he was doing with it. We thought about his thought process. This dude ain't bright at all. And sometimes, by the way a lot of y'all act, y'all show me y'all not that bright at all. Even if someone tells you something, you still gonna go do the lowest common denominator. Even if somebody's telling you don't believe that bullshit, you can't help but go believe that bullshit. You know why? Because y'all crave that negativity. If somebody had really 3 people, and heaven forbid, if 3 people had gotten shot, it would have been a lot worse than what it is right now. So stop falling for the dumb shit. And when he does something to show you that karma, and the same people that was giving us all that bad energy. And the reason I'm doing this, y'all, the reason I'm giving this some energy on the show, because I got to reclaim a couple of people who really don't know. Everybody it's not up on all the details. Like I was on an interview tonight. I had to correct the person who was interviewing me and let them know you late. No, we passed that. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, well, you operating on old news. Like a lot of y'all operating on old news. Speaking of old news, I thought I'd just break this down from the petty department. That if you have not evolved, that's not my fault. If you're the same person that you was 5-10 years ago, you're dead. You're not growing. Everyone should always be growing into a better person than they was before. If I don't sound like, don't walk like, and don't talk like the person that I was before, what in the jack tail makes you think that I'm him now? You have no idea what life can do to you to cause you to change in a heartbeat. And especially when it's his time for you to walk in your purpose. Can I talk to y'all for a second? Just for a quick second. I want to talk a little bit tonight about what happened at Fort Bliss. In case y'all hadn't heard, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm making any of this up, but a Fort Bliss soldier who was actually in a tank. We don't know what happened. They don't know the whole idea, but this happened around 3 o'clock in the morning. They was in a training session and they were shooting live rounds at wooden targets. That's what they said. But during the exercise, one of the tanks accidentally identified another tank as a target, and they turned the simulated war game into the real thing. Okay, they said they had medical staff that rushed to the tank. In the side, they had some severe injuries, a collapsed lung. Somebody had degloved, their hand was blown, all kind of shit. But you're not going to hear about that on the news. And it's not going to make me think any less of the United States military soldiers that are serving their country. It's not going to make me think any less of them. You're as tactically and technically proficient as ever. I know that you all are definitely trained to do the job. And I also know that that is what we eat, sleep, and shit when we're on active duty. So I'm not taking anything from you all. However, even y'all are sitting there asking yourself, how did this shit happen? Because accidents happen all the time. You cannot live in a perfect world and think accidents won't happen. But what you don't do is you don't attack the institution because they had an accident. When I'm at a restaurant, if somebody drops a plate, I don't say I want my check. No, I'm like, I hope y'all clean that shit up. Somebody can bring me another salad. That's what I do. So I got to segue off of that. I just had to throw that out there because for all the hell that they tried to put on us, look at what happened to them. And that's true. I'm glad to see that the newspapers are at least reporting us in a better light. I saw something the other day that said the NFAC, a black militia that stands for the not, they got abbreviated, around coalition. They actually got the name right. Said that they were earlier that they had demanded justice for Breonna Taylor, 26-year-old black woman who was fatally shot by police in March. That's it. No more bad news around that. We were waiting on the clock to count down, so we see what we're going to do. See, they finally figured it out. Now, a question that was asked to me earlier, somebody said, well, Jay, you did a show once where you broke down how many people you would need for this militia. And I said, no, I didn't. I broke down what it would cost to build an army. What it would cost to build a militia is a little different. And he said, well, do you think that would be enough? And I said, no, to be honest. And he said, nobody actually knows how much it costs to build a militia. Why we don't? If we had 75,000 active personnel in the NFAC plus an additional 25,000 reserve personnel, I could tell you exactly, if you gave me $3 billion, exactly how much it will cost. And he said, well, go on, break it down. I said, okay, well, first of all, we're going to need 55,000 AK-101s. That's going to cost us about $38 million right there. That's our standard rifle. And then we're going to need 15,000 Ruger Mini 14s. That's going to cost us about 11.7 million. Those are our reserve rifles. And then we're going to need 12,500 TAR-21s. They cost about 20 million. That's our main vehicle for the crew guns. Okay. 25,000 Ultimaxes, 100 LMGs cost us about 38 million. 10,000 GPMGs, and they're going to cost us about 66 million. 1,200 of the M2 machine guns going to cost us about 16 million. We're going to need 45,000 Glock 17s, cost us about 27 million. 22,000 P226s, and if you know your weapons, you know what I'm talking about. That's going to cost us right there about 26 million. We're going to need 7,000 Uzis for about 16 million, 6,000 SR-25s for about 29 million, and 15,000 modified RPG-7s for about 30 million. 4,000 of the PF-98s, those are the rocket launchers, for about 2.9 million. And then just to heat shit up, 350 Javelin ATGMs that'll cost us about 86 million. That right there is just the standard. And for my special forces people, y'all gonna need a couple more toys. So 7,000 HK-416s will cost about 21 million. 7,000 Jerichos, about 941s, cost you about 3.5 million. 500 of the minis for about 42 million. And then give me 500 of the M24 SWSs, cost about 1.7 million. Throw in 250 Barrett M82s, 2.25 million. And finally, 250 SMAWs for about 3.2 million. That total cost that I just broke down to you is 216,200 rifles and handguns, 19,000 anti-tank weapons with a total budget of $445 million. That's what you learn from doing this for so long, because you keep up with that stuff. Now, I wouldn't expect y'all to do nothing like that, but for some strange reason, they talk about us like that's what we about to do, when all we trying to do is protect our children and protect our women and protect our neighborhoods and protect ourselves. That's really all we're trying to do. We're not trying to do all that other extra curricular activity. I mean, why would we? What reason would we have to do something like that? Unless you remember that the clapback from Yah, that's the clapback. I wanted to spend some time on that, and then we're going to move off of that. I hope I've entertained you enough. For those people who are actually talking about, can you drop a shotgun and it goes off? Yes, it can. A lot of the older models don't have the safety locks. If you drop the gun with the safety off and try to grab it on the way down, you can still grab the trigger and end up going off any goddamn way. But anyway, let's practice gun safety. As a matter of fact, big shout out to Black Guns Matter. My man, Major Tory, we talked today, and we're actually going to get together to do some safety training for all of our folks, just to make everybody comfortable. And you guys will get to watch the whole thing go down. And let me speak to one thing, because I really don't like to indulge in this type of stuff, but since I'm in the petty department, I want somebody to get some money together and let's have a shooting competition. Since you think I can't shoot, $1,000. I'll put my 1,000 up. You put yours up. Let's shoot it out. I've said it. Let's see who got some bread to lose. Since y'all think I can't shoot, and that goes for anybody. But tonight we got to talk about some of the qualities that I talked about the other night as I continue this series, where we begin to look at some of the qualities of what these people are lacking and why they acting the way they acting. They don't have these qualities, so what we have to understand is why. Well, you have to consult the ancient books to find out. Y'all always talking about being on code, right? Y'all always saying, we got to get our people on code. We got to get our people on code. What it says right here in the book. It says there are 4 codes to live by, each befitting the peculiar circumstances of the time. Meaning you're only supposed to live by a certain part of the code at a certain time. You don't live by the whole code all the time. Whatever is applicable. They are the code of the warrior, the code of the citizen, the code of the kinsman, and the code of the individual. Let me break them down again. They're the code of the warrior, the citizen, the kinsman, and the code of the individual. Each one of them is a different code. It's just supposed to live at a certain time. We're in Factz Ova Feelingz, in case you didn't know, and I am Grandmaster Jay. It's interesting because once it breaks down all of these, it separates the sisters. Sisters, listen up. You have your own separate code. Who says you're not special? They had to write a special part for you because those other parts apply to you, but you have a further code. Bros, have a seat. It says there is the code of women, but that is something exclusively theirs and something which all true men must uphold. Look at that. Not only do the women live by the code, but bros, they got an extra code. That's all theirs. You got to uphold it. She's going to be a woman. That's how she's built. Yes, she's going to be emotional. That's how they built. Yeah, they're going to change their mind. That's what they do. But they not stupid by a long shot. They looking at you. And I'm not going to start going through all of this, that, and the third. Bros, we have a heavy responsibility on us. And a lot of us, we just kind of slid away from it. A man sitting around hating on another man like he's a woman. Brother, why are you so emotional? You understand what I'm saying? Brothers sitting around tearing down other brothers simply because they're doing something you're not. Come on, bruh. They are looking at you. And if you looking at somebody right now and you saying to yourself, bruh, come on, bruh. You not upholding me. You acting a clown in front of me. But you know something? I never said that all of the women were perfect either. And it's poisonous and it's toxic when you get a poisonous woman and one of these weak ass men and you put them together. That's just toxicity everywhere. That's the toxicity we should be talking about. You have a responsibility to uphold the sister. The sister already holding herself up as it is. But it says right here in the book, that's the code. So don't talk to me about being on code when y'all doing uncode shit. I see uncode shit when you hating on another brother. I see uncode shit when you coming out your face falsely. And you know you false. Now, if you operating in ignorance, they tell us, pity the fool. You understand what I'm saying? For he knows not what he do. I'm not about to slam you when I know you are ignorant to something. I'm just going to sit back and watch you in your madness. But for those who claim to know better, for those who claim I'm grown, can't nobody tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell you nothing. You can't tell yourself nothing because you don't know nothing. Your head is full of stupidity. Your head is full of foolishness. Your head is already full of so much bullshit. Can't nobody put nothing in it. So who are you talking to? Think about this the next time you're dealing with these type of people. You dealing with them every day. Some of them are in your house right now. I'm just trying to give you something to think about. Y'all sitting here trying to act. Y'all ain't talking back to me. Y'all ain't talking back to me. 4 codes. Extra one for the women. We got to uphold it. It says that all men, not some men, all men, amongst all men, the bloodied warrior is the most important. For he alone is the guardian protector of the things, whatever they may be, that all men value. Listen to what they just said, that only those of us that go into battle, only those of us that get cut and wounded and bleed, only those of us who are covered in the blood of our enemies, only those of us who have overcome the fear that goes down our spine and say, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm not getting involved. Only those of us that know we don't know what's around that corner, who's on that roof, who's on that hill. We don't know where it's coming from at any time. Only those of us who are worthy to say, I was there. According to the book, they are the protector of all things that may be of value to men. So if you value your family, they prove that. If you value your children, they prove that. Value your woman, they prove that. Value your house, they prove that. That's the spirit of a warrior. Not sitting back talking about, I can't do this because I got to hang on to what I got. Don't you know if we lose this, you're going to lose everything you got too? You ain't thought about that. Or you thought you could kiss your ass and white flag your way back into their graces. Not this time. You see, a race war, there'll be no survivors on either side. It says right here, as I keep going, it also says, every warrior is a loving and compassionate mother's son or daughter, and their war training starts in her protective arms. Listen to what they just said. You're not hardcore out here just because you got an attitude. You're built like that because of your mother. It says it starts in her arms. Every man or woman that's brave enough to fight, it started because your mother protected you. And even if you didn't, somebody protected you in a motherly way. So don't say, I ain't know about mama. You knew someone, you called mama. I can always tell when someone is scared to their core because they holler for their mother. Because that's the first place they felt secure. And a stressed, frightened animal always runs back to a place of comfort. That's why when you yell at the dog or you yell at the cat, they run to their spot. They feel comfortable right there. And what has happened with the rise of the NFAC, with the rise of this new attitude that's sweeping the globe of unification and people waking up and people arming themselves and people not taking it no more. But with this rise of people trying to, even the people that want to be down with us, look, you got to come all the way with us this time. You can't come with us just a little bit. You got to come all the way with us this time. With all of that going on, some people have run back to a place of comfort. Can I talk in here? What has happened is they've grown afraid and they hide their fear like a cloak and they mask it in anger, fake anger. And they get online and they yell and they get real animated and beat on desks and they carry on. Like they really feel that way. But when I say, well, come on, pick up your sword and follow me. Okay. I guess we just sit here and be angry then. Y'all ain't hearing me tonight. People, I'm not beating you up. I'm trying to stand you up. I'm trying to build you up. I'm telling you these things because I want you to walk away from this conversation and I want you to think about it. And I want you to get in the mirror and ask yourself a serious question. Instead of sitting around always talking about what we can't do, how about you put a little bit of thought into what could we really do? What could we really do? Think about it. In other words, if you're going to complain and don't have any solution, then you're part of the problem. I'm going to say it again because I know that didn't go past the third row. When you get in the mirror and start thinking about it, think of a solution. No matter how crazy it might sound, you might have the ultimate solution. Even though we have a master plan with a master blueprint that we've already talked about. Even though we've already told you how we're going to break everybody down into the 5 different areas and you find out based on the job you got now, you get in where you fit in. Based on the fact that we've already told you how you move in levels and how you build out infrastructure, then build out the business, then build out the trade, then bring the families over, then bring all the kids in the orphanages and all take them out of the state custody and all the brothers behind bars and bring them on over and then go back and get everything that's on, bring all that shit. We went through all of that. You just didn't get it. So I'm trying to build you up tonight that when you go to think about all that, that you think about where do I fit into this? And if you don't fit on the front lines, that's cool. Just know that at some point there's a part that you fit into. If you're a school teacher who's never owned a gun before, scared of guns, a whole 9 yards, but you smart, you can instruct kids. You know how they love your personality. They love your attention. They love to call you Miss So-and-so. And now you're going to teach the new African history curriculum to them and teach them the indigenous American history to them about the civilization that was here. You're going to teach before 619. You're going to do all of those things. Then all you got to do is wait for us to build out that piece. And that's where you slide on in there. You understand what I'm trying to tell you, but tonight I got to stand you up. Y'all wasting too much time worrying about petty stuff. Y'all don't realize we're out of time. And I've never been wrong. Everything I've ever told you, anybody who sits on Factz Ova Feelingz know the reason it's facts is not because we go out and dig up some facts. It's because whatever is stated in this medium has come true. Go back and look at every post with every topic and be like, yep, that shit came true. That shit came true. That shit came true. That shit came true. You all are out of time. Now, I know this is hard for a lot of y'all. So you want to attack the messenger rather than get the message. But you're going to get this message here even if it kills you. Because if you don't, it will kill you. Now, we're talking about these qualities you got to have that you need to cultivate so that you can stand where you need to be when it's time for you to be where you need to be. A lot of people asking us what we about to do. Well, it's a chess move. And when you're playing chess, you don't tell people what your moves are. And some of you all are so superficial that you believe that everything you hear is a deep, dark secret. How stupid do you think some people are? Everything that's told to you serves a purpose. The same way the media tells you things to serve a purpose. Songs are made nowadays to influence you till you can think in a certain way. You're influenced. You're easily influenced. But my job is not to influence you. It is to enlighten you. Now, a little bit of information to put out, and then we're going to wrap up this edition of Factz Ova Feelingz. As you all know, I have been waiting for some developments in the Breonna Taylor case. I can let you know that things are moving along, but I am waiting for some news that I can share with you. And I see somebody wrote the Cincinnati chapter. Let me address this chapter issue real quick. The folks that were empowered know who they are in those prospective markets, need to make themselves visible to these individuals that are asking for these chapters. I haven't seen a state come up yet where there's not someone there waiting for someone to say, hey, I want to join. But we don't have these conversations on a public forum, so I have to only ask if you're a spy. And if you really want to know for real, just get in the DM or send your request to info@blacknfac.com. Again, that's black at, it's an email address, y'all. Stop going there like it's a website. Y'all killing me. Info at black, BLACK, NFAC.com. And let us know what you want to do in that particular area, and we'll hook you up with the right people and get you rolling, because those chapters have already started in every place I've seen up here. With the exception of California, we got one there too. You know, let me address something that I wasn't going to speak on this, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it, because a lot of people don't understand how this works. Unless you're going to go and understand the law when it comes to weapons, open carry, and carrying heavy firepower, don't open your mouth and make ridiculous statements like you're the first one that had this idea. Someone already tried it where you're at and they fucked it up. So now no one can do it. And unless you too are prepared for all out combat to come into your state, don't request that an armed black militia come into your state when your state does not allow open carry. That's grounds for conflict. Illinois, you're one of those states. California, you're one of those states. New York, you're one of those states. So stop at, why aren't they here? Why aren't they? Because if we set foot in your state, we automatically break the law, and it's armed conflict. So it's not about coming to deal with the gangs. Y'all got enough people there. Y'all can't stop yourselves from shooting each other. I wasn't going to say that, but don't keep throwing out in the air like, when y'all come in here, we're already there. We're you. Organize yourselves. You got guns. Organize yourselves and shut shit down. Your state doesn't allow people like us to come in. Somebody tried it years ago. California, they marched to the state house. They passed the law. You can't even open carry in your state. That means that unless we're willing to risk a full-scale invasion, which means I hope you signing up for it too, stop making smart remarks like you know what the fuck you're talking about if you don't know the gun laws in your own state. Now, if you all want to put together a group of legally armed gun owners in your particular state that have met all the requirements, y'all give us a call. We'll sanction that chapter. But for the state of Illinois, and I really feel sorry for what's happening down there in Chicago, because apparently the guns that are there ain't there legally. And if so, everybody's supposed to be so hardcore and bust their guns. Okay, you don't need the NFAC to come mobbing up in there. The mob is already there. Don't y'all remember when I did 50 Shades of Black? When I talked about the different shades and I said the Dominicans need to stop shooting at the black folks because we're all the same? Chi-Town. So before you start asking about us, check your gun laws and you'll find out why we ain't mobbed up in there already. Everybody has a different set of gun laws. Some states, they don't give a shit, like Kentucky. And other states, you got to have a special permit just to bring it in the city, like Philly. I'm just going to let that hang out there for a minute. Okay, we can move on past that. So I want to get back to these qualities that we talk about. We try to stand up our racial esteem. I hope someone is hearing me. I hope that you all can take this constructively and we can build ourselves up as a people. Because until we're able, and I use these words lightly, until we're proficient at loving one another, helping one another, then knowing that we need to protect one another so we instruct one another, we'll never get to a place where we're going to have harmony with ourselves or anybody else, because we won't be able to love anybody because we can't love ourselves first. And that's going to be my continued message again as we wrap up another edition of Factz Ova Feelingz. I hope that y'all come back and see me. I hope I haven't scared you off. If I have, I apologize. But at the end of the day, we got some work to do, y'all. We got a lot of work to do. And we got to start with each other. I hope that you all come back and join me real soon. Tonight, no music on my extra. I want to leave complete silence because I want to honor the ancestors and I want to honor all of the people that have been the victims of either police brutality or some form of racism that's resulted in their life. So I end in silence tonight to honor them. And I hope that you all will come back and see me real soon. If not on the Morning Mental, right back here, Factz Ova Feelingz, because sometimes you have to respect y'all's clap back. Shalom.